Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rat City Radio Podcast. I'm your host for episode 65 here. I'm Perry the Pig, and with me as always is my co-host, Dread. Dread, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, this is Dread, and in today's podcast topic, Last Epoch's been going for about, actually, hasn't it been an entire month?
It's the 17th would put us at a month. It's a day short of a month now.
Yeah, so we're almost an entire month in the patch, and accidentally, due to some timing conflictions, I'm actually not playing LE right now.
So you jumped ship just for a day, 2 days, 3 days? Because you're checking out Slormancer, the 1.0 release.
I actually jumped ship. I've been jumping ship for like about a week. I've been taking a break, but mainly just because I've been getting acclimated to Swordmancer again, and I plan on actually playing it for longer than a few days. Mainly because I've been kind of waiting for the launch of it for the past 4 years now. So, it's actually important for me to actually play it for a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm. And you wanted to make some videos for that as well, so we can pitch
Yeah,
Slormancer for like just a minute. But I don't want to do a Slormancer episode.
Oh,
I haven't been playing it at all. We've actually done a Slormancer episode of this podcast before. If anybody wants to jump ship and go check out what that thing is, so that was a good episode a long time ago. Then, so Slormancer.
No, we can talk about Last Epoch.
Sure, but just real quick, so people know what Slormancer is, because there's some people who are out of loop on it. It's been in early access for a long time. It's like a pixel. Cheeky bit of humor action RPG. It's a little bit like Chronicon, I believe. But it's really fun. I've definitely enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of flexibility on that kind of builds. And one of the compliments that I've had for Slormancer in the past, their end game, especially their arena stuff, their end game's quite good. It's a fun gameplay loop. Oh my god. Ooh.
Yeah, it got even better this patch, so it's getting better and better. For an offline game made by two people from France, holy crap, does it put certain things to shame? I will not get into that, but it definitely puts certain things to shame.
Love it.
That I will not mention.
So we
champions.
We missed last week's podcast as well, and just before we hit record here, it sounded like you had something on your mind about what you wanted to yap about.
Oh, I can't hear you. Did you die?
Did I die? I don't think so.
Oh no, did he die, chat?
No. Everything's fine.
Oh,
please. I think so. I think everything's fine.
We couldn't hear you for a moment.
What do you mean we? That's a lie.
I mean, I couldn't.
Twitch chat says everything's fine.
I couldn't hear you for a moment.
Oh man, so. Is there a tornado where you are too?
I mean, there was yesterday.
So apparently there's tornado warning right now. So if something happens, but hopefully we're fine. Podcasting, very important. Yeah. Tornadoes would not be rude enough to interrupt this. It's just Dread having issues. Done.
Okay. It's crazy. All right. Continue on.
So it sounded like you had something on your mind about what to talk about. I have some topics. We got backups. Is there something pressing that you'd like to talk about with regards to Last Epoch?
Well, I wanted to talk about Uber Aberroth a little bit more. I know we've been talking about it a lot.
Of course, because the last time we talked, you said that you hadn't been playing against Uber Aberroth. You wanted to do Zeroed Heroes 2 Aberroth, like normal Aberroth. And I don't know how many Uber Aberroths you had done 2 weeks ago, but now you've done some.
Yeah, and I'm mixed on how I feel about it currently, definitely. We can talk about it.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me your impression of Uber Aberroth, I guess, as an escalation of normal Aberroth, and how is it for I want to say the kind of builds that can get to it, but you tell me what your perspective is right now.
So I have a few different issues about Uber Aberroth currently.
Okay.
And it's not the fight itself per se. I think the fight itself is fine. It's a little bit weird to get an Uber version of a boss right after we had the normal one, but that's what happens when you spend 9 months between updates. So
true. And it was very hyped
to
release it, so they need marketing.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, now that I've done it a few times and all that, I played it a bit and did it a few times. I actually went and did it on my wife's Last Epoch account. And because I needed some room because I didn't want to delete characters. I was like, I need to use your account, honey. I'm running out of character slots. And we did it with that Javelin Time Rot build that was going around.
That build's hot. Love it.
And I'll be honest, out of everything in the patch, I think Uber Aberroth's the worst part of the patch by far right now.
But like the patch is very good.
Oh, the patch is amazing.
Like the
patch itself is
we're still like
amazing.
high on the patch. Like I know it's a month later, but like it's still just like it's very very
No,
good.
no, I love the patch. I'm just saying, out of everything that we've gotten out of the patch, I think Uber Aberroth is definitely the worst, and it's for a few different reasons.
Okay.
But if you want, you can talk about your experience.
Yeah, yeah.
With
So
Uber
so if
Aberroth
I'm gonna
first.
guess why it's bad, I'm gonna guess that it polarizes builds into being like dedicated extremely for Uber Aberroth or like not dedicated for it. Because like that's kind of what it's done for me personally. Where like I
I
really want to
noticed
build
your
like,
shift in what you want to play. Like,
yeah, like
you seem very distressed about what you want to play. Of
like
late.
I want to build that specifically can do Uber Aberroth, or I want something that's like really fast. So like I played a Aftershock Beastmaster, Aftershock
yeah, you
Shaman for
quit
a while.
that shit, didn't you?
And like
Yeah.
it's a cool build. It's a good build. Build guides for the Aftershock thing deserve to exist. It's cool, and people should know about that build. To me, it's bad. It's a bad build because
So,
like it's
yeah.
like not good enough. It doesn't farm 1,000 corruption quickly. It's fine, and it also is not going to do.
The dot version was pretty comfy.
And like it's not going to do like Uber Aberroth without like extreme investment. So like
Yeah.
what like if you like the build, play it. But like there's no particular reason to play it.
I think that is kind of like what you just mentioned is really my biggest issue, is because one of the things that I've enjoyed about Last Epoch, and I'm sure you've enjoyed about it considering you're still playing, and what most people enjoy about Last Epoch, is how there was a feeling where you could play a lot of different things and have fun.
Mhm.
Sure, the old version of Aberroth, like normal Aberroth, it was difficult, but
Mhm.
it didn't feel like as though you couldn't play it. Like you could play stuff.
You
and do
could
it
take
fine.
like a Cinder Strike build to normal Aberroth. It would
Yeah.
take a while. Like you could even take Disintegrate to normal Aberroth, and like you'd get there. And like it was a good challenge, but you can get there. But like ain't no fucking half-ass build gonna take on Uber Aberroth. Like
I don't even.
it's not gonna happen.
I don't even think it should be half-assed. Like I think like if you put in the effort, like you should be able to do it.
It's
But
simply
my
not going
problem
to
is
happen.
when you take out that part of the game where you just enjoy it for playing different builds and stuff like that. When you start doing that and you hyper fixate it on Uber Aberroth, I'm not gonna lie, the game's kind of shit. When you look at the game from the vein of only builds that can kill Uber Aberroth, it's like the thing. The game is shit. It's like F tier ARPG in my opinion.
It actually makes me want to play Racing Strike more. It makes me want to experiment less. It makes me want to play like mid tier.
Oh, it's made me not want to play Last Epoch as much.
It's
like,
weird, isn't it? And
well,
like
it's
so, like
because,
you and I play a fuck ton of Last Epoch, so like it's not necessarily like an elitist thing. It's just like we've played a lot, and like we've gotten to the point where this emotion has started setting in. When if other people start playing a lot as well, like it's just a matter of time where it sinks in as well. And like it's not condemning the patch, it's not condemning the game, like it's a good game.
Yeah.
But like we could have more longevity if we address the situation.
I mean, the thing is like, let's be real. With the way that Last Epoch has been going over the past few years, literally, like, what's going to happen? They're going to introduce skill sigils. It's going to be a gigantic amount of power creep, and we're going to be fine. Like, it's probably going to be completely fine. It's not going to matter. Like, this is just a small, incy bit of problem, because if you take the whole game and chop off Uber Aberroth in the top, game's completely fine.
The game, the game's even amazing at that point, because then all of a sudden, like, you're willing to play a lot more builds.
And then without Uber Aberroth in the equation, there's still pinnacle content. Then pinnacle content that actually kind of makes sense in the game, like the 10 Harbinger fight, and then you have like what you can do at any corruption, so you can essentially choose your own difficulty with that.
True, and the 10 Harbinger fight, genuinely difficult. Twitch chat literally had to remind me, because I genuinely forgot, that Uber Aberroth is not the only boss added in for this patch.
Yeah, and I think that is
bosses.
kind of a shame. Mm-hmm. That's a shame. I think that's a huge shame, and I think Uber Aberroth is going to go down over the next few years as one of the bigger mistakes Last Epoch has made in adding.
That's a good hot take. I like
the thing is now it's here. We have to deal with it. But I think a good example here is every single time I look at a build that's doing Uber Aberroth, it's either one, instantly deleting it, cool, or two, right? It takes 12 minutes. And then there's some builds in between, but then those builds are like heavily invested, right? But like the fact that you can have a game where you can have a skill like Smelter's Wrath and take 12 minutes to do Uber Aberroth, and then you have like a build that's normal like Judgment and it takes like 4 minutes to kill maybe, or a Racing Strike, right? And then you have a build like Falconer or the new Javelin stuff, right? The new Javelin tech recently where it does it in a minute. I think that it's like, I think the problem is this has just been an underlying crack in the game for a while, or they're kind of what's the French word? Like
What?
lazy. I can't remember, laissez-faire or what, I can't remember
Laissez-faire?
the French. Yeah,
Sure.
their laissez-faire attitude towards balancing, like we've talked about before, is kind of coming to a breaking point where now with Uber Aberroth in the game, like the cracks are starting to show to the point where like it's no longer ignorable. I think in the past few patches we could kind of just ignore it because it didn't matter, right?
Because
Like,
there was Aberroth. I guess for a long time there's no Aberroth, and there's Aberroth, but like there's still like plenty of builds that could do it. Yeah,
it just kind of reminds me of that one mention where some like during one of those podcasts before the league launched where they talked about how like how like they don't actually calculate builds damages and stuff, like they don't actually like do any math in regards to that when they design things. They just kind of do it willy-nilly. Like you can go look up the podcast yourself if you want to hear that. But I think if they keep going in that direction, I think Last Epoch's gonna like become a worse and worse game because of that. Because
I don't hate that, because like
I don't
that part of the
hate
fun
it
of
either.
part of any like live action service action RPG games,
So-
like you get to figure it out, but you need to
Last
fix it
Epoch-
after a season.
Yeah. So Last Epoch has been doing this for a while, and it's starting to get to the point where it's trying to be both, and it's trying to have its cake and eat it too.
Both what?
So what it's trying to do is it's trying to appeal towards a casual audience of people who just want to play the game and have fun, right? Like, 99% of people. And then it's trying to cater towards the more hardcore ARPG enthusiasts, like the people that want more challenges in the game. And what's happening now is it's kind of stuck in between those two things where it can't decide on what it wants to do. Does it want to be a game where people take it seriously, where like, the end game boss is like actually hard and difficult, or does it want to be a game where anyone can pick up and have fun with it? Because the problem is we're starting to reach a point where they have to kind of choose which side of the road, right? Like if they want, like a good example is like I've had so many people tell me that like they quit this patch because Uber Aberroth was added, because like they spent like a month playing a build and they can't do it. They like scratch them because like their skill doesn't have enough damage, because it literally does not have enough damage.
There's just not enough multipliers in the game to get to that point.
Like they literally couldn't do it even if they wanted to. Like you can't even put in the effort to
if you
notepadded, even with all the insane power.
If you notepadded it, like it's just not gonna get there.
Yeah, with all the insane power creep, with all of the imprint stuff, even doing like the rotation, the meta rotation where you do like the amber farming, whatever, right? All of that, it doesn't matter. And I think the problem is, I think that Uber Aberroth just doesn't fit in the current state of the game, at least currently.
Yeah,
I think it's
it was like kind of a stretch to add it to the game. It definitely
feels like last minute rushed content.
I don't.
I mean, maybe
I agree with you that it doesn't feel like it fits.
Yeah,
it definitely doesn't feel like it fits in the power scaling of the game. Like,
yeah,
Aberroth is a normal boss that builds can try to get to, and like every build, like not like every version of every build, but like every build can get there. You can gear up for Aberroth, and like Aberroth, like for you and me, like it's kind of easy because they nerfed it too. But like it's a very realistic boss. I would even say, and I've said this before, and I don't think this is a hot take, for a new player who wants to like jump in and play the game, like not like someone who's only got like 1 hour a week to play, but someone who consumes social media and watches podcasts and tunes into twitch.tv, like a new player who wants to play Last Epoch, Aberroth is a very achievable goal. It's like it's gonna be hard, but like you can get there and you'll do it and you'll feel good about it. But like Uber Aberroth, like get fucked. Like there's no way. You need to like really
Yeah.
sweat for it.
And like, so if you look at the requirements, so if you want to do Uber Aberroth the normal way, and you don't want to cheese him by killing him immediately, right? Which you can do with multiple builds now, which I suggested before the patch even started, and everyone told me I was crazy for assuming that there wouldn't be builds that would be able to kill him fast. And oh, look at that. There's multiple builds. This is an ARPG after all. That's how they work. But, you know, whatever about that. But still, like, I just don't think that the game is meant for that. I think that I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to copy Path of Exile just a little too much without kind of like realizing I think in my opinion, I think they're a little lost in the sauce and a little bit of why people play Last Epoch and why people enjoy it. If I were to view if I were to view Last Epoch in the lens of like Uber Aberroth and stuff like that, I think the game's shit. Like, I'll be honest, I think the game's shit. Legitimately, I think
I know
right
you and I are
now,
both using strong language to like
yeah,
express
we're
our
using
emotions
strong
right now,
language, by the way.
but like
Yeah.
this I agree with you. I think this is
Yeah.
a valid complaint and criticism of current Last Epoch. Good game,
Like,
love it, can't wait to keep playing. Valid criticism, I hear you.
if I want to take the game more seriously and I want to do the kind of things that Last Epoch is trying to give, like, I think I the way that I view it is like I go to Last Epoch because I want a casual dining experience, kind of like I guess Denny's would be the word here, Denny's maybe. While
Okay.
Last Epoch is like Denny's, you go there, you eat, it's casual, it's fun, and then like if you want like a full course meal, you want to be like pampered, you want to be sat down, you want to be wine and dined, you go play Path of Exile, right? You want like a full course meal, you want to be full for hours, you want like the best of the best by the best of the chefs, stuff like that, right? Like gourmet. Like, I'll just go play Path of Exile. And that's not necessarily, and the problem is like imagine if like Denny's started trying to do like gourmet meals, but it's cooked by like the same chefs in the kitchen, if that makes sense. I think that like it's trying to be something it's not. Like, it's trying to be this ultra competitive game. Like, I'm gonna say something right now, okay? I'm gonna say something
I'm
right
listening.
now.
I'm listening.
And this is gonna be the hottest take of my entire career.
This is
And
gonna be
this might
so
make
lukewarm.
a
I can't wait for it.
lot of people piss off at me. Like, this is going to piss off a very, very large amount of people, and they're all going to get angry at me. Okay,
Okay.
a bunch of big people too. I think that doing an Uber Aberroth race when the CT program exists currently is a gigantic mistake. It is an utterly absurd, gigantic mistake. There you go. I said it. I think
I don't want to talk about the CT
I'm not
program.
mainly what I mean isn't doing the race. Like, I think doing the race was fine, but they should have postponed the race. I think that's like a better way of putting it. Like, I feel like as though because of all the nonsense that's been going on, I feel like as though if they just postponed the race by a week, I think it would have been completely fine, right? I think it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Everyone would have been on the same playing field, but it just kind of feels like it's like, oh, it's this competitive race that you should take seriously, and the moment I saw it, I didn't take it seriously.
Do not
And like
take it seriously.
and almost everybody,
I feel,
everybody I saw didn't want to take it seriously.
I feel all
was
like
a
this
dumb
whole
idea.
wave of emotions washing over me when we talk about the CT program, especially with regards to the race, the Uber Eberroth thing. There's there's a couple good questions popping up live in Twitch chat. I haven't addressed all of them, but I see there's a good conversation happening right now. So one of the questions right now is the CT program. What's that? So let's describe briefly what the CT program is.
Yeah.
There is a community tester program. It is an unpaid position. It's not open right now, but there's a number of people who are part of the CT program, including myself, who had access to the patch 1.2 before it went live. So we were able to play the patch, provide feedback, tell the developer, hey, this thing feels good, this thing doesn't feel good, this thing is bugged, maybe we should fix it, those kinds of things. And then everything's under NDA. So if anyone ever tries to tell you that the NDA expires, you can tell them that they are wrong. the issue that Dredd is describing with regards to the CT program existing and the Uber Aberroth race is that when there is a brand new boss that has mechanics and damage thresholds and things that you're surely going to want to know about, like, it doesn't really matter if there's an NDA, because someone's going to say, hey, guess what? Someone's going to say, hey, guess what? So,
like I said, I don't think having the race was a problem. I think the timing of the race, like I legitimately think if there was just a week for people to play and learn the game and then you did the race, not that big of a deal. It's just doing it immediately right after, while also like it's just kind of like it just felt wrong. I'm gonna like stand here and say that it felt wrong. I think, in my opinion. Now, of course, there's gonna be a lot of people pissed off at me for saying that, but that's just what I'm going to say.
If we had like, so I don't know if they could have done it another way with what they currently have, but like if we had private leagues or like races, like proper races, like they used to have in like Path of Exile, that you like queue up for. If you had something else available, like maybe that would work. But like the way that Last Epoch is set up right now, like they had to do it at the beginning, so everybody played the same build because that's the build that people knew about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a good example is like if people like a good example is like we've been getting a lot of builds recently that have been killing Uber Aberroth very fast as well. Like the Javelin Time Rot thing completely came out of left field.
It
right?
did.
Completely
Love that kind of build. Yep.
Yeah. And like it's like I don't know. It just like obviously I don't think like anything was wrong per se. I just think that like I feel
it's just
like
weird.
so
it made
okay,
me feel weird in my tummy.
This is a better way of putting it. I think people would have taken it way more seriously and actually cared about it if that didn't exist. I'll be honest, like literally everyone I talked to completely thought it was a complete joke. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I talked to a few people behind the scenes. I talked to a few big people behind the scenes as well, like big PoE people. Like everyone thought it was a joke because of all that going on. So like if they want us to take that kind of stuff seriously, like if they want Last Epoch to be that kind of game where people actually take these things seriously, right? Instead of just like joking about it after it's being done, that like they should probably make the race a little bit later.
Couple pieces of commentary. Like they did this and like it was very successful. People loved watching it.
Yeah.
People were dying. People were testing. People were like, pushing and staying up.
You had someone win the race and then immediately have it being pushed in question because of the CT thing. Because if you don't know what happened, Woody Joe won technically, right?
Well, but he doesn't know how to read. Like it's fine. It's totally fine.
No,
he's
I'm
an action RPG gamer. He's an action RPG gamer. He's cheated in the past.
Shit. What are you talking about? No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying that the fact that was even possible to happen in the first place is the mistake. Like there should never have been a time where like that could have happened. Like imagine like you're doing like a Formula 1 race and the Formula 1 race car driver has drugs in his car, like performance enhancing drugs in his car. It's like I didn't use them, but they're there. And it's like obviously that would be frowned upon and people wouldn't take it seriously. Like I like it just like literally like that's why I don't know. It's like immediately having his like kill into question immediately after done and then causing all that drama and stuff. It made Last Epoch look like a complete joke. It made it look like a complete joke. And I don't like that because I like this game. And I don't want it to look like a complete joke. But like I'll be honest, it made it look like a con fiesta, but whatever. That's just me anyway.
The CT program, like, so my 2 cents about the CT program, it is valuable. It is a valuable program. The feedback that the testers provide to EHG is valuable. People are uniquely positioned as having thousands and thousands of hours in the game, having expertise in like 1 or 2 particular subjects. Like there are people out there, and like it's not only content creators. You should know there are plenty of people in the program.
I just want to be upfront at the time as well. I am currently in the CT program. I recently joined due to certain reasons, but I won't go into that. But I'm currently in it, and so is Perry. Yes. I just want to let you guys know that. Like, yeah.
But like the issues with like brand new endgame boss, very exciting endgame boss, and then like there's already people who like have killed it hundreds and hundreds of times who have opinions on like how to do it better. Like we have build guides going up on day 0 of like what the new patch is going to be. It's like not even
Well,
just like
I don't.
here's my idea
Yeah.
of how to do it. It's like here's a build guide of how to do it.
Well, the thing is like to answer someone in chat is
Yeah.
like, so I don't care about contests at all. It's like I don't care about contests at all either. But the problem is, last epoch, if they're adding an Uber boss, right, like this, they're adding content like this that they actually want people to take seriously. Like I would assume that they would want people to take the Uber boss seriously, right? I would assume that. Would you assume that? I would assume they would want people to take it seriously and actually care about it. But currently, right now, like it's just like not many people are taking it seriously. Like it's just like whatever.
I loved the community races that took place literally years ago by one Vision GL supported by the EHG staff. Those races were phenomenal. Like they were offline, like you still needed to worry about people notepadding or like editing their characters offline, which was a thing that people used to do a long time ago, and it mattered because only offline was available. But it was so much fun. I was looking through my offline characters recently, and oh my god, having those community races was just like some of the most fun I've ever had in Last Epoch. If we had a race to Uber
Okay.
Aberroth, hold on,
I do
like,
have to point. I'm sorry.
if we had a
Continue.
race to Uber Aberroth right now, I have emotions about it already. First of all, it would be wildly fun. I love it. Wish it would happen. Two, wouldn't everyone just play like Falconer?
Yeah.
Like
so
what? Ah!
yeah. So I want to bring something up. By the way, I just want to let you guys know this is not like a slight against Woody Joe at all. Like I love Woody Joe. He's cool. Like this isn't a slight against anyone. Like the only people at fault right now for this kind of thing going on is like the developers, like or just the game company, because they're the ones that like let this happen. So I just want to point that out, that like that is the problem. That's the core of the issue, is the fact that it happened in the first place. Because like that probably just shouldn't have happened in the first place. Because like I think I remember what happened was, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be talking about my ass here, I can't remember, but I remember that EHE wasn't going to do a race, but then like Ziz wanted to do a race, so they helped him out with it. They should have taken that a little bit more seriously, I think. Like, because like obviously it kind of looks like as though they didn't take it seriously, right? So just pointing that out there, especially like in like ignoring all the CT stuff. We had the offline client too during
Offline's
this. Like,
weird.
we had the offline client and everything. Like they like, okay, a good example. All right. They took normal Aberroth absurdly seriously. They were like, we're even pushing back. Like
they did do
Aberroth.
that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did do that. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm confused by this, why they took normal Aberroth so seriously, but then they didn't take
That's
Uber
a really
Aberroth
good.
so
That's a
seriously.
great criticism.
Yeah, like I feel like as though like it's just kind of mixed signals in that regard, and it's like I said, it's just this mixed signal of whether do you want us to take the game seriously or do you not want us to take the game seriously. It's like, what do you want? You know, like it's up to you, and it's just a personal opinion. Just like whatever. I just have to point that out because like people are gonna use this and clip it out of context and be like, oh, Dread hates these people. No, I don't hate anyone involved. Like I love the people at Maxroll. I love them. They're great. They're not the problem here. I don't blame them at all for this. It's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong.
They're making guides. They make good guides.
They're making guides. Like they're partnered with EHG. This is official. That's what they do. They're not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that, like, I think that if you wanted to take this race seriously, I feel like as though there should have been more effort put into it. I think in my opinion.
This ties
like,
back to something else that you were
also
detailing.
the race wasn't even that enjoyable to watch because I logged into everyone and they're all playing the same build. That was boring. Like I'll be honest, that was boring. That was giga boring. Like
the meta for the race really homogenized quickly.
It was really boring.
Yeah.
Like watching everyone play Judgment. Don't get me wrong, Judgment's a cool build, but it's really boring to watch. Like the thing is like the whole point of a hardcore race. The reason why you watch hardcore streamers is there's supposed to be a chance to die and suck. Like that's the whole point, right? Like the whole point. Like I'll be honest, like the whole point people watch hardcore people is because they want to see them die.
Yeah, give me
and the problem is like with Judgment Paladin, like you didn't get any of that. It was just boring because you just like, so even from just a content point of view, this was kind of weird, right? But continuing on, go ahead.
I wanna tie back to something you mentioned previously about EHG and like I guess Last Epoch trying to like be the best of both worlds, or try to straddle the line here of being like a casual game and like something that people taking seriously. And having an offline client really, to me, it kind of cements like where they're trying to be. Like they're trying to be like a casual game. Like
that's why
people
Aberroth is so
describe
weird.
Last Epoch as a game that's like somewhere between Path of Exile and Diablo 4. It's got a lot of appeal for both audiences, but like it's more casual. And like we have a lot of quality of life that's been added to the game, especially for making alts in Last Epoch Online right now, which is amazing. But like the offline client still exists, and that's something that they want to continue to support. So like you can just edit your thing and test it, and if it works, you play it online. Like when you have the casual game that's made with all this quality of life, which is really good. Like people love Last Epoch, I do too. But when you slip in a $5,000 reward for doing your Uber,
it immediately just like disintegrates.
Yeah, like I'm gonna take advantage of all that goodwill. I'm gonna take advantage of all that quality of life. I'm gonna go test something offline. Boom, it works. Build it online. Like, is that what the race was supposed to be?
Like I said, whatever they want the race to be, like I don't really care. Like if they want to make the race like that, they can make the race like that. Like they're like adults, they're allowed to make their own decisions. Like I'm just pointing out that like, hey, if you want people to actually take it seriously, like you should take it seriously. Like that's my only piece of only piece of feedback is like if you actually want people to like actually enjoy watching, like if you want to turn it into like this esportsification kind of thing that they want to do, right?
Do they want to?
I mean, they did it for 1.0. That's why they locked Aberroth behind offline and it pissed off a lot of people, right? Like without offline, I mean, they did for 1.0. Why didn't they do it for this boss? Like I feel like as though if like it's either they got to do one or the other, like I don't know. What do you think?
People describe the game as casual. I mean, people play for thousands of hours. It is a more casual game. It's a very enjoyable game. The casual tag for Last Epoch comes from like the casual approach to the game. Like you can walk up to the game without knowing anything, and you can just play. It's not a second job. It's not a second degree from college, like Path of Exile.
Yeah, I was like talking to a few of the PoE like hardcore streamers and stuff that were gonna play, and I mentioned to them about the offline stuff. Like immediately turned off. They're just like, oh, I don't even want to do this. And I'm just like that's the kind of reaction you're going to get out of people who want to be, quote unquote competitive in this regard, right? That's just the reaction you're going to get no matter what.
So we started all this yapping, which is great yapping, with
about Uber Aberroth. Yeah.
Talking about Uber Aberroth, what it's done to the game, and like strong language, but I think we've really outlined some emotions that are important about it, like how the current Last Epoch feels. Like it's fun, but I want to point to like difficulty and like going forward. So like I know that Judd has been on the record saying, Judd's the CEO of 11th Hour Games, on the record saying that he's looking forward to patch 1.3 and 1.4. He's looking forward to he says like that's when he feels like Last Epoch's really going to hit its stride. So
that's
you could
probably the skill sigils, to be honest.
Yeah, so 1.4 is the skill sigils, 1.3 is I think it's going back in time to the
1.4 is the skill sigils?
Yeah, 1.4 is skill sigils. And then 1.3 is Necromancer Lich.
That's awful.
Sorry to ruin your life,
I thought it was 1.3.
So Judd's looking forward to that, and that's when he thinks that Last Epoch's really going to hit stride. So like I know this current patch, to me and to many people, is the best patch that Last Epoch's ever had. And he's already looking forward to the future. He's got his plan for like what's going to come with like especially skill sigils. Everybody wants to know what a skill sigil is. And like I'm along for the ride. Like I'm looking for it. However, with Uber Aberroth being in the game, such a huge fucking increase in difficulty over like normal Aberroth. Again, like normal Aberroth is something like a casual person, like casual, but you're tuning into social media, could do Aberroth. It's a stretch goal. It's a good goal to have. Uber Aberroth is completely out of reach for that person. What's the next end game content going to be? Are they going to make things that are harder? Are they going to keep making things that are easier?
Yeah, that's actually
how's the marketing going to work for that?
That actually kind of feeds into another topic I've been wanting to talk about. Is over the past, sorry, the light's being really weird, like the sun's shining in and all that. So sorry for the lighting. Yeah, but essentially, this has been kind of a topic I've been talking about for a bit. Where when people ask me about these kind of things, like, oh, why aren't you playing like Cold Out Warrior? Why aren't you playing this? And I say the power creep is why. And they're like, oh, like what do you mean? Like I thought power creep was
not
for
power
the player.
Creep. It's like the power creep of everything else, not that build.
Yeah, the power creep of the power creep of the enemies too. like the enemies are getting more powerful too. I don't know if you noticed, but like the tomb enemies, they're no joke, man. Like
Possessed possessed
yeah.
champions together, yeah, definitely.
Like last epoch's really starting to like pump up the difficulty, which I agree with. I like that. But the problem is when you leave everything else in the dust while doing so, I think that's kind of a mistake, but it's fine.
Yeah, like I would say like the
future.
tombs and cemeteries. So something that you pointed out to me is like the single target requirements for any old build in last epoch really jumped up with the introduction of like possessed enemies and champion enemies and possessed champion enemies.
For just clear, by the way.
Yeah, just for like even a clear speed build. Like you can't have a clear speed build that can't kill a possessed enemy. You're gonna feel terrible with that. That's not gonna be a fun gaming experience. So like those builds, like tombs and cemeteries, I love tombs and cemeteries. Like they take a little bit long, but like every time that I walk into one, I'm having a good time. A lot of enemies,
I enjoy them,
a lot of nonsense going on, a lot of lasers on the ground that I got to avoid. And like it feels good walking out of there alive. Like I like it. Especially like I'm playing a melee build right now. Love melee builds. Just like blowing things up. But like I don't know where I'm going with this. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Oh, so the clear speed stuff. So the builds that get left out in the dark for clear speed, we were talking about Hammerden. Like like the hammer throw, like not smite hammer throw, it's like just kind of like bleed hammer throw. I think a bleed hammer throw is like kind of like a canary in the coal mine. Like it's like a stock standard build. People love it. It goes back to like D2 days. It's very easy to put together. It's like hammer throw doesn't have that many more multipliers on it, but like
it did get buffed slightly.
It did get buffed, but like it's basically
well, ailment did
like
anyways.
You have like your hammer, throw multiple hammers, you change them to go in a circle, change them to follow you, get some attack speed, get like a tiny more multiplier. Like it's the kind of skill tree that to me feels like what last epoch ought to be. Where like not all more multipliers on the skill tree, it's just like mechanically changes the skill, and then like you get your axe.
Frostclaw is still one of the better skills.
That's a great one as well, but like you get more multipliers and more damage from like your other pieces of gear, and I want that build to continue to exist. And like it does, except for the fact that in tombs and cemeteries, your hammers get eaten by the wolves, but that's a different point. My point of talking about this is that Cold.Werebear was a fan favorite. Why did we take a fan favorite build and leave it out in the dust? That build was mad popular. People loved it. It doesn't have to have single target damage, but it has to be able to kill things. Like that build is not a good choice right now. And like,
yeah, there's like, it's how I felt when I kept playing like Stormblade. I just felt like I just don't want to play this right now. It's like they're like I've been hearing stuff about Surf and Strike being able to do Uber Aberroth.
You
like,
can, yeah, you definitely can.
I saw that, but what like I'm talking about like every other Stormblade build.
What? Yeah, right.
Like, but. Yeah, like power creep goes both ways because as they add more stuff, they're going to add more difficult stuff. And we got like people just don't acknowledge the average amount of DPS required to do content these days because it's risen again, by the way, like again. Like, so a good example is, I think about a year or two ago where like, you would do like maybe 400k. You could do all the content in the game. Then the next patch, maybe 800k.
I remember telling people that if your ailment tick, like if your bleed tick or your ignite tick was like 200k, like it's not enough. Like you want to keep scaling, but 200k was like literally good.
Yeah,
and like now it's garbage.
Yeah, and then 400k with 1.0 or close to that, right? 400k ticks was fine, and then you move to 1.1. which it doubled because of the boss word stuff and the harbingers. So you want like 1.6 million or whatever. And then now with Uber Aberroth, you want 10 times that value. I think there's a little bit of a problem here. It's like, well, Dread, like not every build should do Uber Aberroth. And I'm like, well, then now we get into the conversation of, well, if this is meant to be a game for the casuals, right? Like, isn't you are like, why are you making content that's not dedicated to
you're
them?
looking at those two sides of the coin and wondering like, am I supposed to be touching both sides? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like A tier, I would put that in C. Like the A tier, the S tier builds are doing like hundreds of millions of DPS. So unless if they want to do something about that, they can, but that's currently how it is. That would be like C.
I would love that. Please Please
Yeah,
nerf
but
Falconer,
now,
man. You know
but
what? My opinion of Falconer kind of echoes like what a casual must be feeling
so
Uber Aberroth. Just like
my
I just pretend that a Falconer doesn't exist. Like I
no,
don't want to play. I don't want to touch it.
my problem with it, okay, here is like, okay, let's nerf all that. Now Uber Aberroth takes 12 minutes to do. Who the fuck wants to sit in a boss fight for 12 minutes? Like, does anyone want to sit in a boss fight for 12 minutes?
My current Erasing Strike build is like it's not min maxed, but like it's a pretty good build, and I can do Uber Aberroth comfortably. Like it takes, I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
And
like,
that
feels like a long time still.
Yeah, but like it's totally fine. Like for a big epic end game boss fight, minutes, I think that's completely fine.
Yeah,
and
I think 4 minutes is fine. Yeah, 4 minutes is acceptable. I just think that when I see a person who's been playing Smelter's Wrath the entire month, while I've played 6-7 builds in its entirety, and then you've played 4 in the matter of a month, and then I see one player that has been playing Smelter's Wrath the whole month, the entire month, on a class that was buffed significantly, by the way, right, in general, and I see him take 12 minutes to Uber Aberroth, I'm like, I kind of want to uninstall the game after that.
That's brutal. Like, I mean, congratulations. You know, taking like a non-boss killer character. Like, good.
But it's like remember, this is also the patch where Smelter's Wrath got buffed significantly. Not only did its added damage effectiveness get raised, it got a 50% more multiplier, and then it also got it also changed the functionality of it so you could speed up the charge without losing damage. So not only were you playing on a class that got buffed significantly with like sigils and stuff and quality of life, you have the shield node to make you tankier. You have the Smelter's Wrath buffs. Then you have all of the power creep in terms of the triple imprinting where people are running around with triple exalted items like it's candy. Right. Then you have like all the LP legendaries from the turtle, where I could realistically farm a 2 LP world splitter without too much effort, right? Like maybe a day or two of farming Collapsing Horizons, right? And COF, all of that, and it still takes 12 minutes, bro. What the hell, bro? It's like, holy crap! It's like, holy shit! Like okay. I'll be honest, I doubt anyone would love Path of Exile right now if like normal Shaper took 12 minutes to do. Everyone would quit the game. They'd uninstall it. They'd be like, okay, I'm not playing this game. I'm done. And like, I think that like that kind of forgets why people play ARPGs in the first place. Like they want to feel powerful. Does doing a boss for 12 minutes and tickling him with your skill that got buffed 5 times in a row recently, like, does that feel fun?
Like, is that like fun? The very first time you do the boss?
Maybe.
Yeah. Like
maybe.
Like a new player.
Not after a month of playtime.
If it's their first time doing it, like okay, so by and large, no. But like a new player, like they're gearing up, like they're playing Last Epoch for the first time. They're still, you know, like there's somebody out. Okay, maybe I'm just trying, dude. I'm trying to.
No, you're good. You're good. Like I think that's like what I'm getting at, and playing Swordmancer recently kind of made me realize why I disliked Uber Aberroth. Is I feel like as though we're forgetting the fact that people play these games for fun, and we're taking ourselves a little too seriously. Like a good example here is like Pee-wee 2 had this, where they had the dialed a little to the other way, where like, you know, this is what happens when the game gets a little too serious and it's no longer fun, because we're playing an RPG to have fun. Like, do you really think the dude who's like working 8 hours a day and like wants to come home, take his shoes off and stuff like that, do you really think he wants to spend 12 minutes of his hard-earned time,
like
killing?
Dark Souls exists and Elden Rings, like there's an audience for this.
Yeah, but that's not an RPG though.
It's
right?
not necessarily every action RPG, and Last Epoch has already done a lot of things that make me think that it's trying to be a more casual focused game. So I hear you. And like talking about this more really makes me feel like Uber Aberroth was kind of weird.
I think I think the thing is too is like a good example is like a lot of people criticize, like a good example here, an amazing example is of late Path of Exile had been doing some leagues where they kind of take a mechanic from a different game and kind of like put it into the game, but as like a cheesy league mechanic. So some of them work well, like the roguelike thing with Sanctum, although some people fucking absolutely abhor Sanctum with like a burning passion, which is understandable, right? They do that. But then recently there was one called the Ancients one. I can't remember the exact name. It's the one with the Karui where you have like the little RTS battles and stuff like that. Everyone hated it. Like everyone hated it. It was awful. And it's because they were trying to do something that the genre wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to shove in stuff that the game wasn't. And like I think that's why there was so much vitriol about Path of Exile 2. Like, I'll be honest, guys. I'll be honest, man. When I watched the first like teaser for PoE 2 and I saw that dodge animation, the evade animation, I kind of puked in my mouth a little bit. I played the game and it's fun, it's great, but it's definitely not like what people are playing PoE 1 for. And it's definitely not what people are playing Last Epoch for. I can tell you that much right now. Like a good example is I made a video talking about build diversity and power creep in Last Epoch, talking about Uber Aberroth a little bit more and all that. And I made like a chart showing like all of the builds able to do 1,000 corruption and like Uber Aberroth and all that, and how it like kind of like starts up there and then it like sharps off. I made a thing. It's like, oh, probably like 10% of builds can do like 1,000 corruption easily, maybe 10 to 20% easily. Like that's not a problem. I had so many people in the comments and everywhere. Like that was probably some of the most negative feedback I've ever gotten. Everyone was like, dude, I'm not even at 200 corruption. And it like, that was like echoed so much. And it made me realize like, who's this content for? Like, who's it for? Is it for us? We hate it. Is it for like the tryhards? They're better games for that. Is it for the casuals? They don't even get to it. So like, who's the content for? Why'd you make it?
When you say the content, you mean Uber Aberroth or do you mean 1,000?
Yeah,
corruption?
Uber Aberroth.
Okay,
Uber Aberroth. Okay. In this regard, because if you can't even get to 1,000 corruption, like you're not going to do Uber Aberroth. True, right? Gotcha. Like, let's be real. Like if your build can do Uber Aberroth but can't do 1,000 corruption, I have no idea what you're playing. Like I don't know what you're doing. Maybe
sure. Yeah, like Serpent Strike, like super duper single target.
And but you can still do it. You could still do it.
You probably can.
I don't think there's any reason.
But not like quickly, not like comfortably. Like Serpent Strike, like really has a lot of single target damage.
When I say do it, I mean like just be able to do it. Obviously, sure. I'm not saying blasting 1,000.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're never gonna like get a bunch of builds to do that. That's just how this game works, right?
Okay.
But like when I say do, I mean just be able to get there and do it, right? So, yeah, I know that they said there wasn't going to be for everyone, but then now, like I said, we're getting those mixed signals again, where it's like, we're like, what are they designing the game for at this point, right? So, I don't know. It's like, because like the more hardcore casual, like the more hardcore people who play a lot want more balance. The more casual people want just more content. Like, dude, I get so many people asking me, hey, when's the rest of the campaign? When's the rest of the campaign, Dread? When is it coming? Like, these are the people that pay the bills. Like, whether or not, like, you can sit on your high chair.
I agree with you. The people, the vast majority of the player base of any game. But there's some people that don't understand this part, right? There's a lot of people that are like armchair and be like, yeah, well, I killed Uber Aberroth on day 2, Dread. Good. Congratulations.
Good. You
good
for you.
But that's not minority.
That's not who pays EHG's bills at all, right? At all. Like, not at all. Because you can't whale in Last Epoch, unfortunately. Oh, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, you can buy all the MTX, but even then, it's like not that much. I don't know. Like, and then now, of course, so I like what Lonnie said. This content won't be for everyone, but we'll put loot behind everyone will want behind this gate. Now, that's interesting because I was in Merchants Guild the other day, and I was like fucking around, and I saw that there was like a 1 LP pair of like the Uber Aberroth gloves that were like perfectly rolled for like 1 million gold on the market. Obviously, there's a lot of like inflation and all that, but that's a shame. The fact that that can be so little. It's like, oh, okay, all right, let me just grab this. I don't have to interact with the boss ever. Cool, great. And it's like, oh, locking behind content. It's like, unless you're COF, then like you have a different problem, right? But then if you're COF, you just play a good build and then you just do it. Right. So
yeah, I guess you can only play good build in COF.
Yeah, I guess you can only play good builds in COF. Yeah,
Brutal.
that's a better part. Like, what do you think? You play COF only. What do you think about it? Considering like you're like it was already kind of forcing you down the pipeline of only playing good stuff because of like the clear speed requirements to like farm favor effectively, right? And now it's even worse with all of like the tomb stuff. And now it's gotten to the precipice of like craziness with Uber Aberroth. What do you think as someone who just plays COF?
The requirements for a build that I want to play right now are like not casual friendly. Like I said this I think like the top of the hour or something, but like I want to play builds that either like really have a great chance against Uber Aberroth, like significantly invested in single target damage, or just like clear very fast. And like unfortunately, one of the very first builds that I played this patch was Erasing Strike. So like I've got Erasing Strike. What do I want to play next? And it's like, it's hard to find something. So right now I'm just chasing dopamine and doing things that like my brain likes looking at.
Yeah,
I'm playing like shiny builds right now. I feel like a pro.
What you've been doing is you've been starting to do what I do, and you've been build hopping a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've been build hopping a lot. I noticed that. Because normally what you'll do is you'll play like a build for at least a week. But now you've been playing builds for a few days and I don't want to do this. Play a build
like
for a few days.
It's not gonna get there.
I want to do this.
Like the Aftershock build is a great example of that. Because like the single target damage for the Aftershock build requires a totem to be on the ground. And like if there's a totem on the ground, the totem's gonna die. And then like all your damage is gonna disappear. And like are you gonna like just be non-Aftershock Earthquake?
Oh, Antez, by the way, had that problem. He was playing the Infernal Shade zombie lich build where he like throws zombies on the ground and do Infernal Shades. He had to change his build up so much just to be able to do Uber Aberroth with that build. He had the damage and survivability on Lich. It was all fine. The zombies were a problem.
Yeah.
Because they would immediately die the moment he summoned them.
Yeah, what a wild encounter for minion builds.
Like, we could complain about minions forever. Like I think minions are like the perfect example of this argument, actually, now that I think about it, because isn't minions supposed to be like the casual friendly build, and now you're asking them to wear 3 sets of gear? I think that's a shame. I think that's kind of disappointing. Yeah. Like if I was a minion player, only, like I'd be very disappointed with the EHG right now. Like I'll be honest. Thankfully I'm not.
I needed a minion build. I needed a necromancer to get some B-roll footage.
I heard you asking around.
Yeah, and I was like, does anyone have a minion build that isn't donkey doo-doo? Like what do minion builds look like on a necromancer these days? And like I clicked into like minion necromancer builds on Maxroll's website. And like at first I didn't find any. I was like something's wrong here. So like I kept like looking around, and then I found they have like, what's the big ugly guy? Abomination?
A-bomb.
Yeah, they got like A-bomb, and then like there's like one other build. Like Vision GL had like a Roid Mage set up there.
Oh, they all that's about it. Yeah.
And like this just what? Where are the
No. Someone just made a Poison Mancer build that works. No, that was doing normal Aberroth. That was not doing Uber.
Yeah, I want
to point that out.
I don't know what minion builds are.
So my question my question is, so when they made Uber Aberroth, did they play a minion build to test it at all?
Because they're like terrible.
I'll be honest, like I will buy another copy of Last Epoch and gift it to someone in my stream if like a dev comes and tells me, yeah, we did test it, like a minion build. Like I don't believe you. I legitimately don't believe you. I don't believe that you actually played a minion build and killed Uber Aberroth. I don't believe you. Like when you were testing it, that wasn't like snapshotting, because they wouldn't have snapshotted because they're developers, right? Why would they do that? That sounds like ridiculous, right? Like seriously, like, did they even try to play a minion build? That's what I mean about it's so out of place. Like it feels like it was kind of rushed. Like it just kind of feels like as though like, did you even test it? Because like a good example is like, okay, if we have a web developer, okay, and they develop a piece of content for a website, and they don't even test it, what would you call that developer? Dumb? Would you call them dumb? Would you call them
like, junior developer?
Junior? Yeah. Like what? Okay, what would the customer call them? Better. There you go. That's a better way of putting it. What would the customer call them? What would the customer say? Right? Imagine you go onto like Last Epoch Planner, okay, right, and you click a button and it just doesn't work. What would you say? You'd be like, wow, did he test this? It's just a button. It's literally like one of the first buttons I see. Like imagine you go to Last Epoch tools, okay, and I click on like okay the skill button S, and it doesn't work, and it's like, did they even test this? This is like one of the fundamental parts of the planner, right? And then, but the thing is, like, you take that and you compare it to like the Uber Aberroth thing. Minion players are like a large majority of the player base. Like in general, people love minions. People fucking love minions. Like absolutely love it. Like it is a cult following. People love Pee-wee minions. They love everything minion related. I can tell you that right now. A large amount of my audience have been like hounding me for a minion build over the past few years because I haven't been doing that many, right? And it's like people want minion builds and they don't want to snapshot. I want to point that out. So before you say that, I'm going to cut you off. Okay? Everyone wants to play minions. That's a large amount of the casual audience. So you're telling me a large amount of your audience that you know is a large amount of your audience, because I'm sure you can test, like, see how many people play minion builds, right? Like, remember when we saw the stats and we saw Necromancer as one of the like highest played classes? Remember that? Even though it got no changes or anything? Yeah, like they can see those stats, right? Imagine putting a piece of content in the game where you just didn't even test it. It just kind of disappointing. Like, not for me. I don't care about minions. Like, fuck minions. Like, we're both on that same train to fuck minions. Screw them, all that, right? But like, that just kind of just feels like, I don't know. It just kind of feels. I don't want to say the. I don't want to say the word. Okay.
It feels like how I talk about like the S tier builds, like the very like cream of the crop at the top. Like there's just like different video games in Last Epoch. There's like the Merchants Guild and COF video game. There's like the Falconer video game and like the non-Falconer video game. There's the builds that are allowed to kill Uber Aberroth, and then there's like funsy builds that are going to struggle to clear 200 and 300 corruption. Like there's not a lot of balance in Last Epoch, and like I'm kind of sad to say that because like I want to say good things about Last Epoch, but there's really not that much balance. That's one of the things that brings me back to what you were saying about like the casual versus competitive appeal of Last Epoch, and like it should be casual. It does a great job of being casual appeal, which is why, bringing us way back to the beginning of the conversation, Uber Aberroth, when you start to think about it like this, it does kind of feel out of place.
Yeah, and like a good example here is like when it comes to minions specifically here, right? Like when you load in with your minion build, you're like, okay, let's assume you're a player that's been playing the game for 3 years now. You know what you're doing with minions, but you don't want a snapshot. Okay? You don't want a snapshot. That's it. Like, you don't want a snapshot. You want to play a minion build. And then you go and load in Uber Aberroth for the first time after like grinding for a month. And you just see your minions immediately die, even though you've built like 100 intelligence or 150 intelligence, and you have like 1,000 minion health, and then you have all the minion resistances and everything. And then like watching your minions immediately melt to the boss. What does that make you feel? Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like imagine you're playing like, I don't know. What's a good example? Imagine you're playing like, I don't know, the build you're playing right now with like multi-strike smite, electrify, and you're like, wow, this build has pretty decent single target. I'm enjoying it. I'm killing bosses. Then you go do Uber Aberroth. You don't even touch it. You don't even touch his HP. It's like, wow, I thought this build was supposed to have a good single target because of the multi-strike node. Like, what are you supposed to think there, right? Like, what are you supposed to think?
It's so far away. It's hard. Like I'm currently at that point right now. Like I can't kill Jura before she flips, before she does her first big one shot.
Yeah.
But like she does that, I flip flop backward to take advantage of the bug, which is still in the game, and then I can kill her like 5, 6, 7 seconds afterward, which is like good single target damage. It's quite good. But like I know my damage needs to be like 4, 5, 6 times bigger before I even begin thinking about Uber Aberroth.
Another thing I want to point out too is like, well, Jared, why do you care about this so much? Well, one of the things that Last Epoch was paraded for was the build diversity. Last patch, the build diversity was great. People loved it. People loved being able to play most builds other than like the things we make fun of on a daily, right? Like Cinder Strike and all that. People love that. I can't say that anymore. I can't. I literally can't. The
Some-
best thing about Last Epoch, I can't say it. I can't say like, oh, the build diversity in Last Epoch's great. I can't say it without like
Well,
me
so
feeling
in the
like
past,
so
like
unwanted.
last patch, like during 1.1, I would say like the build diversity in
Yeah.
last epoch's amazing if you just like pretend like the top 1, 2, or 3 builds don't exist, which is still
Yeah.
true right now. But right now you need to amend that sentiment because you need to say that the build diversity in last epoch is very, very good if you ignore the top 1, 2, 3, 4 builds and
but that
and
just,
Uber Aberroth. You got to
but
ignore
that sounds
Uber.
like that sounds like copium. Like that sounds like you're
It's
just taking a sip
starting.
of the
Yeah, it's
copium
getting
juice.
closer to closer
It's
to
becoming
copium.
the copium juice, and
It's
it's
true.
like so my problem is like, so if Last Epoch isn't that, then what is it? That's the whole point of the skill system, no? Isn't it? I thought that was the whole point, right? Like you're supposed to have these skills, these, pathways and stuff like that. You can take your build and all that. But when this is the state of the game, does that matter anymore? Right? Does that matter?
Listen, man. The skill sigils season 4 is gonna fix
Dude,
everything.
that's 2 patches
It's gonna
from
fix
now.
everything.
And not to be rude, but I will point out whether or not we get a patch within the next 3 to 4 months is still something that's on the table, because like
We
don't
don't
get me
know.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
They're just like not telling us when the next patch is gonna be.
Unfortunately, due to prior activities and things that we have seen, we have to be realistic with ourselves and honest. Are we really going to get a patch within the next 3 to 4 months? Like now, if we do,
Good.
great,
Yeah.
good. But can we really sit here and lie to ourselves, be like, there's probably not going to be a delay, right? I don't know. Like I don't want to be that kind of person that just like is like drinking all the copium and be like, they'll do fine, they'll do great. Like I'll be honest, man. Like in terms of that, it just kind of looks like as though like the fact that like if we're going to actually see a new patch or not within 3 to 4 months, I'm just like
Maybe. Can we nerf Falconer? Please God, can we nerf Falconer?
but
Like can we at least like just get rid of that?
So now you're
That's
saying,
it.
but now you're saying this problem will be fixed not 1 patch ahead of time, but 2 patches when we don't even know.
Let's bring
when
Twitch
the next
chat.
patch is going to come.
Let's bring Twitch chat into the note
Yeah,
real quick.
go
So
ahead.
patch 1.3 and 1.4, what we're looking forward to. That's the last time that they shared a schedule. So 1.3 is going to take us back in time to the ancient era, something along those lines. They have already begun teasing things about the 1.3 patch. We know that it's going to be a Lich and Necromancer stuff. There'll be minion changes too. We know that we have like some icons that have been teased in the game, and we previously know that there's something called primordial unique items, which may line up with patch 1.3. So there's a couple things we know there. Patch 1.4 is going to be something called skill sigils. We've seen like a UI mock-up of what it might look like in the future, but we really don't know anything about it. People have speculated a lot what skill sigils are. Maybe like drastically changing a skill by socketing something.
We're essentially thinking they're like cluster jewels right now.
Maybe cluster
jewels. That's what
jewels.
we're currently thinking what they are.
I don't, or like maybe like volatile reversal is like it's a void skill, but you put in the fire sigil and it turns into fire. Like maybe, who knows? We have no idea what they are. But they sound they've been around for a while.
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because you specifically keep saying about like Judd saying that like, oh, this is like when we'll reach our
he's
stride.
looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to assume that's what he's referring to, because I don't know what else he'd be referring to without us knowing. Right?
Who knows? But why?
Yeah.
Why don't we know what the timeline is?
Yeah,
like just tell us 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. Tell me something.
This is why I bring up the Uber Aberroth thing again. Is like this is why we bring it up and we talk about it. Is like because if you think about it, like Last Epoch's not that good of a game if all you care about is Uber Aberroth. Like I'll be honest, like if you're telling me, oh, I want to do all the content in the game, like all the content in the game,
no, that makes it boring.
Like, I'm literally going to tell you to go play Path of Exile instead.
I can tell you where I am right now. If you want to do all the content in the game, it is a more boring game.
Yeah, and that's a shame because it used to not be that. So
brutal. Just ignore it.
Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Pretend like Falconer doesn't exist. Pretend like Uber Abbey doesn't exist. Like,
I feel like asking people to ignore content in the game to enjoy the game more is very bad, by the way. I want to let you know.
Big mood. All right, so what else can we talk? We've been talking about an hour and 4 minutes at this point. There are other things we could talk about. We could talk about the build that I'm playing. Just real briefly, let me tell you that the build that I'm currently playing is like, like all my dopamine receptors are turned on. Like I waffled between a couple builds. I wanted something that just was fun to play, and I've got an Aurelius and a sword, or sorry, Aurelius and a shield on my paladin build. I'm playing multi-strike, proccing smite, proccing healing hands, proccing my divine bolts, and a bunch of like lightning stuff with electrify as my damage source.
I feel awful because I saw you playing it earlier, and I was just sad because I just thought about it earlier. I'm just like, wow, he's gonna throw this in the can too.
Well, it's fun. It's fun so far. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I know, but like I'm just like looking at the damage and the damage profile of it and all that, and I was just like looking at it. I'm just like, damn, he's gonna throw this in the can too, huh? Because you know, like,
am I gonna be missing that much damage? No.
And I mean, you're playing a dot build. Dot builds aren't doing as well. I will put
because you need like more time to ramp it up.
Well, you just need more damage. Like crit has always done more damage than dot.
With this, it might turn into a hybrid build, which I'm not sure I'm willing to admit that, but it might turn into a hybrid build at some point.
Like I think okay, so my response to that is like so. Jay Paulino in chat just said,
"Oh sure,
it feels so good. Probably won't hit Uber, but I don't care." And that's like the thing is like that's 99% of the player base. If you go and poll them, you go and ask them on YouTube and everything at YouTube, Discord, everywhere where people are at. By the way, that's all we can really ask because I can't really go to random people's houses who don't interact with Twitch or YouTube or anything like that and ask them. It would be weird and awkward, and I know the police called on me, so I can't do that. But the people that I can talk to, and I can tell you right now, my audience is a very casual player base audience. Like they told me, they straight up and told me, like they self-reported. I talked about like, hey, like I think most builds probably should do 1,000 corruption. It's like 1,000 corruption. I barely can do 100. What the heck is this? And then the other half is like, what's a corruption? And it's just like so yeah. I don't know. It's
I'm having fun. I'll keep working on it, but I'm having fun. The other thing
that's like the thing is like I've been having fun too, by the way. This is just such a small problem, but it's a small problem that kind of has been like I think it's kind of like you look at the rock and the rock looks pretty. But then Uber Aberroth is effectively no, just a rock on the ground.
A rock. Okay.
You look at the rock on the ground and the rock looks pretty, right? That's the game. That's last epoch, okay? That's last epoch. But then you take Uber Aberroth, which is effectively someone taking the rock and lifting it up. And you see all the bugs and crawlies. And it's funny that I say bugs because of insects, but it could also mean other things, a double entendre, right? It could easily mean just normal bugs. The amount of builds I see these days where I see a kill on Uber Aberroth and I have to ask if it's bugged or not pisses me off. Mind you, the fact I have to go and research the build and figure out if it's bugged or not, the fact I have to go and ask all the people I know, like, hey, is this bugged? This looks cool. Is this bugged? This looks cool. This bugged? This looks cool. Because I have to do that, that's also a very sour experience. Like we just had one the other day. Literally, that was fixed the other day. We had the smite thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
I didn't see a video of how much damage it was dealing, but like if it was negative,
it was zoop. It was like zoop, instantly dead.
Oh,
it was like literally milliseconds.
All right, Twitch chat. If you have a video of the smite bug from like a week ago or something, I would like to see it.
Yeah, it was absurd. Cool. And it's just like the fact that I can see all these, like, because this is supposed to be a fun part of the game. Like, I'm supposed to be looking at these videos and smiling and happy. I'm not supposed to be looking at 12-minute videos of someone playing Smelter's Wrath and, like, struggling to even do it. And then I read the description that it took them 140 tries to do it. Like, I'm not supposed to be reading that. I'm supposed to be reading, like, hey, like, it took me, like, maybe 10, 20 tries, but I did it with my whatever build, so-and-so build. Like, that's what I'm supposed to be seeing, not like, oh, I need to spend a month farming and like a build that got buffed like 20 times in a row just to be able to do this. Like, I don't know, is that fun? It's like that's where I'm like putting all of the focus on this is fun. Because why do we play these games? Fun, right? So if fun isn't what is focused on, then what are we focusing on? I don't know. I just don't see a 12-minute boss fight with a normal build, and I would call this much rather normal build. It got buffed into viability. Like if you took that against normal Aberroth, it'd look like a normal build, wouldn't it? Like it looked like a normal build. It'd be fine, right? I even killed a normal Aberroth as much as Wrath last match. It felt okay. It wasn't the best, but it felt okay. But it's just like, I just don't want to. I don't want to look at Uber Aberroth kills anymore. Like they're just not fun to look at because it just makes me think like how poor this has gotten. It's like I don't know. It's just like like a good example.
I just loaded up a YouTube video on my second browser here or second monitor here, and 1 second later, I've now seen someone one-shot Uber Aberroth. That's a lot of smite damage.
Am I supposed to take the game seriously when that's happening? Like,
cool.
And then like a good example. I remember you were doing Uber Aberroth, right? You were doing Uber Aberroth with the Erasing Strike character, and it took you multiple days and multiple hours of farming and everything, and you were putting your heart and soul into
Super
it, playing COF, and you were playing one of the strongest builds of the patch too. That's the thing. And you still were taking forever to do it. And I'm just like, I just look at that and I'm just like, aren't I supposed to be having fun? This doesn't look fun to me. Like maybe it's fun to do it.
To me, it was very fun. The progression that I had toward Uber Aberroth, like I started out with Smite, ended up being bugged, but then I did a Racing Strike. I farmed up a bunch of gear. I threw my corpse at Uber Abbey to like learn the fight. I got hit by this. I got hit by that. Try again. Get hit by this. Try again. Get hit by that. Like kind of learn the fight as I go. And like, oh, I think I need a little bit more attack speed. Or maybe I need more durability. Do I need more health? Do I need to be a red ring build? Do I need to use something else? And like copying things and tweaking things from other people's builds. Like it took me a long time, but like I know the fight really well, and like I can do it in 4 or so minutes. I feel like the progression that I have is what every build should have in terms of progression.
But the problem is now with context, you're playing one of the biggest buff skills of the patch, by the way. They literally buffed it by 100% more damage for no reason, and it still takes you 4 minutes after all that effort and all that. And all these people that are posting kills now that are like getting to 40 seconds have been farming for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's just like, I what game am I playing now? Like if I want to, like, I'll be honest, like just between you, me,
you and no one else,
Twitch chat,
no, just
and the
you
podcast,
and me. Just between you
and
and
the
me.
podcast. I'll be honest with you. If I have to spend a week or two playing a build and investing into it to like get to Uber Aberroth, I'm just gonna go play PoE because refining a build is way more fun in PoE right now because that's not what I play Last Epoch for. If I wanted to refine a build over time, Last Epoch's not the game for me right now. I'll be honest because it's not fun in the same vein that like another video game is, like other video games.
Even you as like a primarily Merchants Guild gamer, like that's not fun for you?
No, it's not fun because I don't get to play anything. I have a very strict set of things I get to play. Like the checklist that is required to do Uber Aberroth is very long and detailed. Like from all the research I've done and all the work I've done, it's a very long list of details. Like, and what ends up happening is just because you have to deal with like all the balls on the ground. The less damage you have, the more balls you have to deal with, and the more tanky.
I was going to say, like the more damage you have, like that list gets really short.
Yeah,
the more damage you have.
Well, no, the less damage you have, the list gets super short, doesn't it? Because then you have to deal with more balls, right?
No, sorry, the list of things you have to deal with is short if your damage is big, because you just end the fight faster.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's like the thing is like if I wanted to play something like that like I had to spend 2 weeks on a singular build just to do that on a fun build, by the way, not a build that we all know about and all work already, right, and all that, right? Not like that, but like if I wanted to, take the build you're playing right now, the multi-smite like Electrify. If I want to take that to Uber Aberroth, it's probably going to take me a week or two, especially if I do it in COF, right, instead of Merchants Guild, because I was going to kill Uber Aberroth and Merchants Guild, but I realized that it just kind of felt like not fun because it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy gear and then put it on, and then because I'm rich, so like that didn't feel satisfying whatsoever, right? Like at all. So if I'm gonna do that for a week, there are better games for that right now. That's not what Last Epoch, at least for me, it was good for.
That might
right?
be a Merchant's Guild opinion that you have there.
I mean, in COF, like, isn't it worse because it takes longer? Like, I don't want to spend like, I'll be honest, like, I don't want to spend a whole week working on one singular build, like, because it just doesn't, like, Last Epoch doesn't have the tools right now to make that kind of thing satisfying. Other games do, like Path of Exile specifically. Path of Exile has the tools for that.
I don't know. I disagree with you on this. I see some people in Twitch chat who
no, that's
disagree
okay.
with me. Okay, good.
Well, yeah, that's because
Difference of opinion. We did it.
No. The problem is what we're talking about is we're talking about the most entrenched individuals ever. Like,
yes,
like we're supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
Right. We're supposed to be like this. Like, I'm probably one of the most entrenched individuals when it comes to this. But like, the thing is, I love Last Epoch, but I know what Last Epoch is good at, and I know what it's not good at. So like if I want the things that Last Epoch is not good at, it ends up being a worse game. And Uber Aberroth is like what I call what Last Epoch is not good at. Right.
So you called this the worst part of the patch?
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, when you have a really good patch, there has to be a worse part. No. Like, there has to be a
even if it's a good patch, like something's going to be like
I think it's fine. Yeah. It's just because like this issue that I'm talking about and hammering about, it's going to get fixed immediately because they're going to because they keep doing this where they keep introducing absurd amounts of power creep, and it's going to get fixed eventually. Like eventually, when you add like skill sigils and you add primordial uniques and you add like ways of getting perfect items with a sneeze of the button, right? Like whatever, like sneeze. Whatever, right? And maybe Cinder Strike one day can do it, but it's just like now we're having this arms race where I've seen this before in like Magic and like Yu-Gi-Oh, like power creep and just copious amounts of it in Path of Exile too, right? That's like one of Path of Exile's problem is the power creep, right? Where it's like gone up and up and up. Like it's not a good path to go down. Or you have to go through it to get more content and stuff like that, right? But can you hear me? Am I dying?
I can hear you. You're still good.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Because the stream was like lagging for me. Okay. Thank God. Okay. So like I was saying, like when you do that, right? When you do power creep, you shouldn't be trying to accelerate it. Right now, it feels like they're just trying to accelerate it. They're like, like they're trying to like rush through it. And it's just like you shouldn't go out of your way to try to push the power creep, right? Like a good example, Falconer and Runemaster and Warlock were perfect examples of pushing that power creep to the limit. Like we talked about this at length. I don't even have to bring this up. Like everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like literally everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say this.
When you say like the power creep of those classes being added to the game, like that was like
I'm not saying power creep is
like
bad.
A greater acceleration of power creep than we've seen in other places.
Well, yeah, it's just like a gigantic push, like a huge push.
It was huge, yeah.
And like I don't think power creep is bad. Obviously, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I know that like power creep is required to keep people interested. But the problem is like what ends, at least for me, anyways. It feels like as though we keep taking these 1 year, 9-month breaks, right? And it feels like they have to make up for that to make people interested in the game. Well, if we don't push the envelope, then people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is boring," right? And I don't like. It kind of feels like that too.
I hear you. That I was already interested, and I've asked people like what we know about like when patch 1.3 is going to come out. But like I'm re-interested right now. I'd like to know, is it going to be 3 months or 4 months or 6 months? Because like we're a month in at this point, and like we know what the player retention graphs look like in Path of Exile. We know what the player retention looks like in any action RPG. Like they're cyclical. You know, we have a lot of players at the very beginning. After a month, it's going to fall off. Dread's gonna go play Slowmancer, for example, and like, what's gonna be like the next thing? At some point, I'll join you, but just for the sake of conversation.
No, it's so funny because like people are like, "Oh, you're playing Slowmancer now, aren't you quitting?" I'm like, dude, You really think that like the moment you think the moment I get off Swordmancer, I'm gonna go play something else? No, I'm gonna play Last Epoch. I want to play Last Epoch. I was really enjoying this match. This match is great. I know people like constantly paint me as like a negative Nancy and all that, but like I've been loving Last Epoch. Dude, I've been playing a shit ton of Last Epoch. Why do you think I played Last Epoch in the 9-month break where nothing was happening? Like I love Last Epoch. It's just Swordmancer.
There's more than one game in the world.
Yeah, I'm allowed to. Yeah.
Are you allowed to?
I don't know. Apparently not.
I thought so. I'm gonna cut it off here. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. I was expecting that we were going to talk a little bit about imprints, like imprint strategy, like the things that didn't work in the past, now like they got fixed, because like that's something that a lot of people were looking forward to. And like there's a little bit of drama about like were they nerfed unintentionally, and it turns out the answer is yes. And there was a Reddit thread that went along with it, and like there's good conversation to have along with that.
We can talk about that later.
We can talk about that later. We always can.
I want to talk about that, but we can talk about that later.
But like bringing up Uber Aberroth and talk. So hot dates. What? Didn't you just say dinner before this?
I said hot take.
Oh, hot takes. I thought you had a hot date you had to get to. Oh my goodness. I was getting excited for you. Okay, so no hot dates, only hot takes. You know what's funny? I was asking you for hot takes before this podcast started. I was asking on Twitch chat. And there were people who were they're like hot take, like Uber Aberroth like is not fun. Or like Uber Aberroth is like not really a good boss fight. Like it's good enough. But like, yeah, there are like some other hot takes out there on Uber Aberroth as well. It seems like it's a thing that's on people's mind now that it's been out in the ether for a while.
And like the thing is like just because it's not good now doesn't mean it can't be good later. Like I'm not stupid to think that like they can't fix it. Like I trust EHG in this regard.
I like the fight itself. I really like
the fight itself is fine. I
really like learning the fight.
It's just the context. It's the context around it, I think, is my problem. I think if he had like half the amount of health, I think it'd be great.
When you say the context, you mean like the difficulty spike, the
I'm talking about Cinder Strike. I'm talking about like
Cinder Strike, yeah, like the relative lack of balancing in Last Epoch. Yeah. Like it used to be casual friendly, now it's like this one particular thing that you really want the particular items from it. You can't really get them because if you're casual, you're not going to play a build that's able to take it down. Yeah,
and it, like that's what I'm getting at is like when in context, like I say this all the time, and it makes people think every single time I say it. Remember, Cinder Strike and Uber Aberroth exist in the same game.
Poor Cinder Strike.
Like that's like saying that what is it called? Conversion Trap, and like T17s exist in the same game for PoE. It's like the mental break. It's like, whoa, like why?
It's a good question. All right, I'm gonna cut off there. Been just shy of an hour and a half talking about Uber Aberroth. This is like the context of Uber Aberroth. I don't know what to call this episode.
Wait, there was a comment here I think here.
Oh yeah. Tell me.
I feel like you're trying to. Okay, this is Morphex in Twitch chat. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're trying to put yourself into casual shoes, but a single shoe. Why does a person who does not know what corruption is care about Uber balance or it existing at all? Or if it's because that's what people are telling me. Like, you don't think I don't read comments? You don't think I don't read people when they like ask me questions and they talk to me like when I'm streaming and stuff like that? Like, there are people who play this game and only play to like maybe 100 corruption or something. There's like plenty of people I talk to and I ask for build advice all the time. There are people who just don't play that long in the game, and these are all their opinions all amalgamated into one source. Like everyone's, like if I were to take like a mixing pot, this is everybody. Like this is literally everybody all in one mixing pot. Even people who like Uber Aberroth and like it think it's dumb. Like a good example is like Misha, a good friend of ours, right? She plays a lot of Sentinel and stuff. Every single time she'll like send me a build. I'll look at it like, oh, I can't do Uber Aberroth, and she'll be sad. I'm like, yeah. It's like that's the way what I'm getting at. It's like it's cool, but can I do Uber Aberroth? And it's just like I'm not saying this because this is what I feel. Because if I want to go do Uber Aberroth, I'm just going to go play a Racing Strike or Stormcrows or whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Like I'm gonna go do it. I don't care if I need to go do it. These are the opinions of people who talk like of all like the 40,000 people that talk to me, right? And I'm looking out for them and what they talk about because they're the people who keep this game running, not me. Like I'm going to play the game regardless if it's shit or not. But like those are the people that like come back if the game is good. Like those are the people that like I listen to, not the people like Perry and I or like, you know, all the hardcore people in my chat or like all the people in my Discord because like they're going to play regardless. That's not who I'm listening to. I'm listening to the people who like play the game like just semi-casually because like you gotta remember stop being on your high horse, man. Not everyone has tens of thousands of hours, you know, like come on, like it's just ridiculous to like even suggest that, right? Like there are plenty of people like because remember I used to like work all the time too. Like I like a good example is like recently with Oblivion coming out, Oblivion Remastered. It came out and I had time to actually play it. But normally I don't have time to do that because I'm working too much. And that's how these people feel when they see Uber Aberroth and they see like Smelter's Wrath, their favorite build, kill it in 12 minutes. Like, I don't want to fucking do that.
I think that's a good place to cut it off. No, I like that. Get passionate. Dude.
Yeah.
Let's cut off there.
Yeah.
I want to leave it on that thought because I think it's a good thought to linger on. This is episode 65, I think. Episode 65, Rat City Radio Podcast. Dread, thank you for sharing your passion with me this evening. I know you have a hot date coming up.
No, we already went on the date.
Sorry, a hot take. Hot date?
My goodness.
Dread's going to go do hot stuff off stream. If you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, let us know after the fact where you're listening so we can have your viewing and listening experience to be as clean as possible, despite a tiny hiccup that happened. And there's a thunderstorm happening outside with maybe a tornado, so I'm glad we never lost a stream here. It's worked out well. Cool. Dread, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, buddy. And we'll see you next time.